Hey, good Monday morning, folks. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update. Hopefully, you had a great weekend. And now, the kind of weather that makes most Michiganders say they could handle this all year long. How about low humidity, strong sunshine, temperatures in the 70s in the afternoon, some low to mid 80s, and overnight temperatures in the 40s and 50s, good sleeping weather. How about all that? Did I mention a really good rainfall for the garden or the lawn or your freshly planted landscape? No, I didn't, because it doesn't look like there's anything out there like that. So let's get on to it. I'll tell you, too, my whole thing for the last 2 days is that the European model, which is normally our model of choice out at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, looks like it's got a little bit of a problem to me. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. And it doesn't really come into our forecast until Saturday night or Sunday. So we'll just kind of keep watching it. Right now, most of us have strong sunshine. Let's say hi to folks. Carl Y, good morning. Lennox, Tom Ramsey in Freeport, enjoying the sunshine. Larry Pusker in Charlevoix. And Jackie Soa, sunny Genesee. So, lower Michigan, mostly sunny, except there is that odd lake effect band on Lake Michigan, not showing any returns on the radar, although the Grand Rapids radar is out at the moment. But I think we're going to see quite a bit of sunshine for today. So let's get into, first off, let's get into the weeds first off. Here's the odd thing that I'm showing you. Watch this. This is going to be the European model's upper air forecast, and it takes a storm system from up northeast Canada, drops it down into Michigan, deepens it, really small deep thing, and then moves it off. It just looks like an odd movement, and the trend has been for other models to shy away from that idea. So here's what I'm talking about. So we go through, let's see. We go through at 15,000 feet up. And remember, the blues and the oranges mean the atmosphere is either colder than normal aloft, which tends to bring cool weather at the ground, or it's warmer than normal aloft, tends to make it warm aloft. So this is by Friday. We've replaced the cold weather with a warm ridge over us. Okay, now see that storm system up around Hudson Bay? There is going to be a ridge building in Canada. This is, one of the climate change signals I see is that as winter progresses, those areas are supposed to get cold and be trophy. They end up being warm ridges. But this is Sunday morning. And note what this model does. It brings that low pressure center all the way from Hudson Bay southwestward over Michigan by Sunday night. That's a small, compact, deep little storm that looks just really odd. If it happens, it sticks around for probably a day or two, and then look what happens. The ridge finally builds in for the following week. And so we've got a couple of weeks of warm weather. We're out there to September 23rd, and trough out west and warm in our region. Now I want to show you the European has a new AI enhanced model, if you will, and it's not quite showing that. So this is what it does is it takes that thing from Hudson Bay into the northeast U.S., and this is the weekend forecast on Sunday. And guess what that is? That's in the 80s to near 90 degrees. And then it picks up and continues the ridging and really doesn't send any storm system our way out to 16 days. And at the end of it, it looks very similar. Again, very warm. So, radar forecast, I think we are dry today. That little band over Lake Michigan, maybe it has, a brief shower coming on shore, very isolated. So we'll call today beautifully sunny and dry. Here's tomorrow. This is noontime tomorrow. Showers across the UP. Here's tomorrow afternoon. Lower Peninsula. Beautiful once again. Tuesday night. This is early Wednesday morning. This model showing, some spotty clouds and spotty light showers. Probably nothing that is significant. All right, so when we get into something funky like what I think is going on the European model, basically, and I've revealed this term to you before, we call it meteorological cancer. I remember one of my professors brought that idea up to us in the mid-'80s, let's say. And basically, unfortunately, all of us have probably been touched by cancer with a loved one or a family member or even ourselves. And, once it starts to grow, it unfortunately kind of tries to snowball. And that's what happens in weather data. If there was one bad piece of upper air data that was imported into the models, or maybe a site that's continually giving some bad data, then the model forecasts with that bad data and runs with it, and it kind of continues to be bad. So we look at the ensemble. Remember that what I showed you was the single best run typically, but it can be bad out in the future. So we look at the ensemble. So that's what we're going to look at now, is the ensemble of the surface weather. And it has the same idea, but kind of in a little bit modified form. Same idea on that weekend storm system. That's the only thing in the forecast right now to me. So today's dry, and Tuesday's dry, and Wednesday's dry in the ensemble. And Thursday should be dry. And Friday. This is Friday afternoon. Saturday. And then you'll see it starts to drop this storm system into Lake Huron and circulate some showers around on Sunday, and then rotates it off to the east. So, temperatures. Upper 60s to near 70 today for a lot of us. Tomorrow, mid 70s for a lot of us. So let's call it 73 to 77. Wednesday, maybe 80 in Saginaw and Mount Pleasant and Alma, and near 80, maybe 80 in Grand Rapids and the rest of southern Michigan, Ann Arbor, Detroit. Traverse City up to 74. Thursday, low 80s. There we go. So Tuesday, 70s. Wednesday, 70s to near 80. Thursday, the 80s starting to grow in the southern half of the state. Traverse City up to 77. Friday, work skipper Friday. Bingo, you got it. Saturday, temperatures into the 80s in a lot of places. And then this model is going to reflect that upper low shifting in from the northeast. So Sunday and Monday, Tuesday back to the 60s. And once that works off, we're right back into the upper 70s again, out 16 days out to about, or 15 days out to about September 22nd. So a long stretch of warmer than normal conditions on the way, and the extended forecast from the long-range forecasters at NOAA show that also. 6 to 10 day forecast, September 13th to the 17th, warmer than normal, drier than normal. 8 to 14 day forecast, increased chances of warmer than normal, September 15th to 21st. drier than normal bullseye over us. 3 to 4 week forecast, September 20th to October 3rd, warmer than normal and drier than normal. So we are about to enter a really, really nice stretch of 70s, low 80s, low humidity, and comfortable nights where you can shut off the air conditioner at night, maybe run it a little bit during the afternoon. And if you're like me and planted some things this weekend, guess what? You got to grab the garden hose, put it on trickle. I always say, this is a good stream size, your pinky, depending on what it is. That might be a little slow, maybe you go up to one of your bigger fingers, but you don't go like this and pour it on in most places because it'll just pound the plants and run right off. So get the garden hose handy and get ready to enjoy some sunshine. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.